So this is another interesting one in terms of archetypes. Let's talk about the dragon. So to explore the archetype of the dragon, we're going to be pulling from Jung's own research as well as the kind of the giant idea around dragons thanks to mythology, stories, and tales. So we're going to switch over to the notes, right? So let's remember archetypes are images inherited from our ancestors similar to instincts that we are born with, right? Like reflexes and stuff. Only it's imagery and ideas and themes. So dragons are arguably related to or represent supernatural serpents or supernatural forces too. In Mesopotamia, there is of course Tiamat, the great serpent, who could be related to a dragon, could be seen as a dragon. In Egyptian myth, the underworld was guarded by two snakes, which can be related to dragons. Um, Egypt also has the tale of Denwen, who was capable of destroying all the gods with fire if it wasn't killed. So you kind of see a parallel between Tiamat, who was going to kill all the elder gods, right? Or you have Denwen, who was going to kill all the other gods, right? See? So in Chinese culture, dragons were identified with water. Indians identified dragons with nature. Greeks saw dragons as guardian spirits. In the Islamic world, dragons were seen as astronomical beings, one being responsible for eclipses and comets. They saw dragons as guardians of treasure. Celtic and Norse myths have dragons in them also. In South America, there are myths of dragons too, like Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl. And arguably, if you follow the delineation of what happened in Mesopotamia, right, you have Ningizida, who's supposed to be a serpent, right? And after the lands are all split up, Spawn needs to shut up. After the lands were split up, according to like, okay, Ishtar, you get this place, Marduk, you get this place, Enlil, you get this place. Ningizida was like, hey, I'm going to go across this ocean, I'm going to go over here. Where does he go? He goes to South America. And then South America happens to have Quetzalcoatl. Coincidence? I think not. Anywho, so the theory is that they rose out of a need to explain natural phenomena. There is no single prototype for the archetype of the dragon, as they have different characteristics across cultures, but, they have similar characteristics. Really long snake, maybe breathe fire, always guarding something, guardian of something, the stereotypical picture, right? Doesn't matter how big they are or how many legs they have. Even Marduk had a dragon called Mushusu, who he, I guess, flew around on, right? It's like, yeah. So, let's keep going. So, to Jung, the dragon represents the unconscious and is the adversary of the hero archetype in terms of your conscious. So, you are trying to conquer your unconscious. So, you are the knight slaying the dragon, right? So, the hero slaying the dragon represents the conscious winning over the subconscious. I just said that. And that is through the process of individuation, where you understand and rule over your subconscious so that you have the subconscious under your foot and you are in control of everything that it does, right? So, if dragons represent the subconscious, they then represent forces that are beyond the control of most people. Our inner drives, our fears, our compulsions, and raw power are out of our access because they are not conscious to us. Our job is to make those things conscious, because let's remember, whenever you start reacting to something and you have thoughts, you may not be in control of it, but in reality you are. You have to catch yourself and stop yourself. That's when your dragon's coming out, right? So you kind of gotta rein the dragon in. It's almost like How to Train Your Dragon. I love that movie. Both of those movies. Anywho, let's see. Think of how dragons are supposed to be life givers or protectors of treasure. Dragons, to us, guard treasures of our deep mind, treasures of our own power that we can access through working with their archetype, exploring all of our unconscious, our subconscious. It's like going into that cave and finding that dragon and killing the dragon and getting the treasure, right? And then bringing it back home and, oh man, you're famous and all this other stuff. So dragons can create and destroy the same as we can. We can let our unconscious create and destroy, right? Your unconscious, by the way, is not just, and I said this in the individuation video, I think, the unconscious is not just negative stuff. It could also be hidden good stuff, right? Kind of like if you're consciously saying to yourself, oh my god, I can't do this, oh my god, I'm going to have anxiety and all this other stuff, and then when you just wing it, it comes out and you're fantastic, that's your unconscious kind of taking over, right? So dragons can act like any other spirit guide or entity that is called upon. There's even like books that use the archetype of the dragon in terms of a magical practice. I personally don't have those, but I might want to look into that actually. That sounds kind of fun. Ooh, to-do list. Sweet. Um, so yeah. So dragons can act like any other spirit guide or entity that is called upon, as we are activating the archetype within us that resonates within certain parameters. So you have this picture. Well, what is a dragon? What is a dragon to you? Well, then you call up those qualities. That's the qualities of this archetype coming out within you, and then you use those. You emphasize those certain characteristics and qualities, and you bring them out, and you emphasize them, and you work on them to make them more conscious. And yeah, so so these can be like elemental dragons, so then you're working with the archetypal ideas of earth, air, fire, water, right? So if you call in a dragon of earth, air, fire, water, the dragon will have both the positive and negative qualities of that element. Then you could even go as far as to extrapolate that to maybe dragons of different kinds of maybe locations, or even ones that represent certain constellations or spirits or different things, what have you. So, this taps into the idea of you kind of allowing what you are creating to go through a certain filter, right? So you are filtering this energy and this information that you are calling upon to come to you from the void, let's say, from Ein Sof Hour, as in the visage of a dragon to work with certain energies, certain types, certain things. And like any other system, it can work as long as it works within certain parameters of you opening your unconscious and creating ritual space, creating that whole psychodramatic elements, and what have you. So once again, with these archetype videos, I do lean heavily on the psychological side of things, and then how to apply them in a psychomagical format. So let me know what you guys think about the dragon archetype, and if you've worked with those, I think there's 2 books on like dragon magic or something, and or any of your experiences with those kinds of archetypes and those kinds of ideas. So let me know what you think. I've been on a roll. The last couple of videos I made, I've made them in one night, and I think I'm going to keep going because my schedule is insanely busy, but right now I am free, so I'm front-loading a bunch of videos. So yeah, good hunting.
Thanks for watching my video. So if you want to check out my playlists, I have, among others, the Simon Necronomicon, the Tree of Life, General Magic, Tulpamancy, a playlist on my books, the elements, stones, the theories that govern magic, and the gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia. If you want to check out my books on Amazon, I have Creating Consciousness, Magical Mechanics, Magical Theater, Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Movement, which is an update and expansion upon Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Mastery, which is a combination masterwork of Magical Theater and Magical Mechanics, and The Guide to the Spheres and Beyond. You can also find me on Facebook at Magickology YT. You can email me at priestofthenecro@gmail.com, and you can even check out my Instagram, which is Magickology. And good hunting.